Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the G.I. Joe Classified series, Saw Viper. It's a semi-automatic weapon Viper, aka the Saw Viper. Now, some of you may remember from the comics books when that Saw Viper did what he did. I am assuming, and I'm going to be real here, I'm going to army build Saw Vipers, but I'm assuming that's why most of you know of the Saw Viper, right? It was that moment. But yeah, let's get to it. We're going to talk about it. It's pretty cool because I actually really like how this guy really did come out. What's really cool is the pads here on the forearms and on our shoulders are removable. We have an extra little bit of armor in front. The legs is all molded, so it's not like it's removable parts. They are molded, but they don't actually get in the way, which is pretty cool. As you can see, it's a little bit under the 90 degrees, but with the drop down, you actually get the 90 degrees in terms of articulation. It's all pinless. Now, I'm going to start from top to bottom or bottom to top, depending on which way my brain works. But the first thing I want to do is I want to show you guys the mobility with and without the helmet. Now, with the helmet, you can see you'll start to stretch out the collar, but the helmet will move over. You actually have all the same mobility of looking left and right, but this will lift up. So I do advise you hold it down while changing the direction of the head. You can still tilt forward and backwards as well too, but you will have to hold down that collar. Now, without our helmet in the way, which is an accessory technically, you have this nice masthead for the character, which is kind of crazy because I didn't expect it to be like that. I was expecting like an unmasked head, but they went with the masthead and I thought that was pretty cool. So here you are, left and right. Under the collar. Now, also what's really cool is if you don't want that extra right? We have the collar that's removable. So as you can see here, it's a little bit better than what we've been getting in the neck articulation department, but still not the way it used to be. So, but it is better. We have our big extra Kevlar flak magazines. What did Sharif call it? Plates. You have all that stuff in the front that's all molded in on this armor. And again, like I said, this is soft plastic. So it technically shouldn't hinder your articulation, but if you don't want to press it, we're going to see right how to look. As you can see here, it'll unfold. You can just dip it down a little bit, or you can dip it over the arm to have some protection. So we have our articulation there. We have a bicep swivel. We do have a butterfly joint. It's in there. Mine's is really tight, but I know for a fact it's in there. We have that pinless double jointed articulation. And as far as the ab crunch goes, that is probably the biggest test here. All right, I'm gonna see. Yep, we can only get a T-pose. Now, let's check about our ab crunch underneath all of this. It looks like we can still get a okay ab crunch, but it'll probably go deeper. Yeah, it could go a little bit deeper if you stretch it out, but it'll cause a little bit of gappage here, so just be careful. As you can see, I left the accessories on. We'll talk about that. If you push back down, we will go right back to our normal articulation. And we have our drop down hips, which we talked about before. We have our thigh swivel. And we can lift up. And as you can see here, we get the 90 degree. We have the double joint. Ooh, strong. And as far as ankle pivot and ankle generosity, we have the known for Hasbro ankle generosity. Now, as far as this guy taking stance, huddling down, getting on a knee, let's check that out right now. So getting on a knee with this level of articulation, not an issue. Doing any sort of hunch maneuver. As you can see here, we don't have that little bit of extra rotation here, so you gotta be careful. So for holding the weapon, let's say his automatic weapon, looks like technically he'll be able to hold it, but it'll look a little crazy unless you do some leg rotation here. Yeah, you should be fine. This hand has a vertical hinge for holding the weapon. This one has a horizontal peg, just so you are aware. Now, I think that about covers all of the articulation points. If I'm wrong, somebody will remind me, and I'll try to go over it again. But with that being said, I think we'll go over his armaments now, so we can see how you guys can see what he's got going on. So let's get to it. So now we're gonna talk about those said accessories. Now, we're gonna stand him up. I'm gonna turn this guy around. As you see on the backhand side, we do have our knife for last minute carry out or close quarters combat. We have our sidearm, which is stored on the right hand side. It seems to be a pistol with a compensator and an extended magazine, which is pretty cool. It does have a plug port for effect parts, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna stand them back up real quick. One thing I want to do, I'm gonna take this off screen real quick. I'm gonna pop that hand out. What I do want to show you is what I said before. So if you cut this off, obviously, or you take it off by popping out the arm, you can see that there is a normal body underneath there. Just wanted to showcase that for you, depending on whatever kind of look you want. So I just want to give you that option to see that that's there. I'm gonna pop that hand back in. There we go. Now, you already saw here, we have our neck brace for extra protection, so he doesn't get caught up in the wonders of a stray or large caliber bullet, considering he's supposed to be on the front line. We have our helmet, which is indeed a tight fit, but I think it's a perfectly good tight fit, as it sits right on top of the head, and it really does signify the look of the Saw Viper. I really feel like this looks pretty cool. Like, I won't lie. Imagine a bulb head like that with a giant automatic weapon just coming at you. It's crazy. Then we will have the Saw Viper's main weapon. This is a large assault weapon. As you can see, like I said, that vertical hand for this handle. We have our magazine. We have a literal saw attached to it, a tiny little chainsaw, a bayonet chainsaw. This is actually removable, so you can turn it into a hand-based weapon. It's pretty cool to have a hand chainsaw, a little mini chainsaw. I thought that was pretty cool. So even if you wanted just a regular rifle to look cool, then you can add your little chainsaw bayonet. There's also a port here for effect parts. Ooh, don't fall, brother. We have our backpack here, which I'm pretty sure you can plug in something else here on the back. Let's see about let me see something. It's kind of crazy. That looks kind of stupid, but I just wanted to see if that would plug in, and it did. Oh, by the handle. The handle is movable left and right. Now, when you have your saw here, the magazine plugs in through here for that. Then you will have this plug into this side. Mine does not plug in well, so I would say be careful, but it plugs around into the backpack underneath this port right here. So when you are doing it attached to your Viper, it's literally going to, let me actually rotate it around. So that way when he's carrying it, it looks really cool, like a conveyor belt of bullets. I'm gonna attach this in for photos later, but yeah, now you can see what you're getting into. There's even a little handle here for the backpack, extra port as well too, like I showed you before. But here it is, all your accessories. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go find some bodies to compare to, so you can see what he looks like next to Joe's, next to Mythic Legions, next to Action Force and other brands like that, so you can see all that stuff. I'll see you guys in a bit. So I went back and I grabbed the Monster Force. So let's get to it. Let's start with Quick Kick and one of the twins, Tomac Zemot. I can't remember which one at this time. But as you compare these guys, you can see that, wow, the Saw Viper is actually really, really small. Did not expect that. I actually expected him to be a little bit taller. Now, because the helmet may be throwing us off, I'm going to take it off, double check. I actually did not expect him to be this much smaller. Now, personally speaking, if we're going by that Saw Viper, like, I forgot his name, crap. I would expect it to be bigger, but if we're just choosing like a regular army building Saw Viper, I guess it makes sense that they be a little bit smaller. But I really wanted him to be the bigger one, and it turns out he's a little bit smaller. I actually didn't expect that, because he just feels like a bigger character. But I'm thinking of that particular Saw Viper who did what he did. Just didn't expect him to be smaller. So let's take these guys away. Here we are with a Cobra Trooper and Big Boa. So as you can see, he's about the size of a smaller trooper. I actually expect him to be about the size of Boa. So yeah, I didn't expect that. Definitely, that is what I get for thinking in one fashion and going in a different direction. Next up, let us compare to a Monster Force and an Action Force figure. So here we are with these two. Oop. Both their feet are not flat, so let's actually fix that. Because he actually does look pretty good with a Monster Force next to him. It doesn't look terribly small at all. Action Force is a little bit bigger, so let's actually fix that. So yeah, Action Force is a little bit bigger. so you know what you're getting into. I'll take these guys away. Who else could I compare to? Oh, you know what? Here we are with a Marvel Legends and a Cosmic Legion. So here's a Marvel Legends Brother Voodoo, Jericho Drum. Next up, it's my main man Ichigo. I'm using him from the Mezco Wolverine body as a base. He has custom clothing. I have to fix his arms. I'm gonna put both down because I had him in a cool pose. So yeah, while he does range pretty much well off in the position with other ones, depending on what you want to do, like swap bodies around, make them taller, swap legs out to make them a bit taller, it's gonna be up to you because it's still technically like a modular body. Most of the stuff actually still is compatible. I do wish he was a bit taller. That threw me for a loop. And that's for personal preference, considering what I like in the story of G.I. Joe. But it does make sense if you're just army building regular Vipers. So there's that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been informative. Wait, something else I was gonna say, and now I'm forgetting. Oh, there was somebody I was talking to in the comment section, and I was trying to get back to what it was. Oh, because I've been playing with toys, and they were preferring a way of articulation. I try to get back into the groove of that, so I hope that helps. Just want to add this little note or asterisk on. So I hope you enjoyed that as I try to get back into the old groove. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys will enjoy the photos at the end because Saw Viper, heavy weapons. He does it like he mugs people though. That mask is so crazy to me. But in the meantime, guys, thank you for everything. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm trying to get used to the habit of that. And if I get used to the habit of that, hopefully it gets you in the habit of doing the same. It means a lot to me that you come by and check these out. So as always, thank you so much. Please be good, do good. Drink your water, guys. Later.